Today was day 16 in the trial against Lindsay Clancy, and even though there were only 2 people on the stand today, there is still a lot to go over. The trial day started with the continuation of testimony from defense forensic psychologist Dr. Paul Zeizel. He testified that in his opinion, Lindsay was suffering from bipolar disorder with postpartum psychosis on January 24, 2023. He said that she lacked the substantial capacity to appreciate the wrongfulness of her actions and to conform her conduct to the law. To support that opinion, Zizil pointed to Lindsay's documented decline, which began months before January 2023. He said that included depression, dissociation, paranoia, intrusive thoughts, severe problems sleeping, and her repeated attempts to get mental health treatment. He also addressed something that the Commonwealth has brought up several times during this trial. Lindsay was still functioning in everyday life. She could drive, use her phone, take Cora to the doctor, build a snowman with the children, and communicate with Patrick about dinner and medications. Zeizel testified that none of those things rule out psychosis. According to him, someone experiencing psychosis can still take care of familiar routine tasks. He also testified that psychological testing did not indicate that Lindsay had antisocial personality disorder. The Commonwealth then started a very lengthy cross-examination of this witness. Prosecutor Shannon Buckingham established that Zizil has known attorney Kevin Reddington for many years. He has worked extensively on defense cases, and he has spent an unusually large amount of time with Lindsay Clancy. He estimated approximately 35 to 37 hours of formal evaluation and approximately 60 meetings with Lindsay. The Commonwealth also pointed out that Zizil has referred to Lindsay as my patient. He has stated that he cares deeply about her. He checks on her when she's in the courthouse lockup, and he has participated in a press conference back when he first became involved with this case. She seemed to really be questioning, is he really functioning as an independent forensic evaluator, or has he become too personally involved? She also challenged his reporting and methodology. Zizil acknowledged that some of the medical records he reviewed were not listed as sources in his reports, and although he did review Tewksbury's more than 7,000 pages of records, he did not read every word of every page. The Commonwealth then challenged some of Lindsay's medication history. They said that the initial prescription for Zoloft was 30 pills, and when that bottle was inventoried, there was still 23 pills there. So she asked how she could have possibly been taking them as prescribed if there was still 23 pills. Zizil said that, sometimes people take former bottles or new bottles, and the Commonwealth stated that only 1 bottle of Zoloft was ever prescribed to that specific pharmacy. The Commonwealth also asked what the difference is between intrusive thoughts and auditory hallucinations. Zeizel testified that after January 24th, Lindsay reported hearing a male voice telling her to take her children's lives and her life. But Buckingham established that prior to January 24th, 2023, Lindsay's treatment records repeatedly documented intrusive thoughts and thoughts of wanting to die, but they did not document her telling any provider that she heard an actual voice giving her those commands. Buckingham also used Tewksbury's hospital records from significant dates, including the children's birthdays and anniversaries of January 24th, 2023. Those records showed Lindsay using electronics, interacting with others, attending groups, and visiting with family on those days. Zeizel maintained that a person can still function and interact while experiencing serious mental illnesses. On redirect, Reddington mostly focused on the accusation that Dr. Zeizel is biased towards Lindsay Clancy. Zeizel testified that having empathy for someone does not mean an evaluator has predetermined the outcome. He said that his opinion came from years of meetings, medical records, and collateral interviews. He also testified that Lindsay remains on constant one-to-one observation because of concerns about self-harm, and he said that she talks about Cora, Dawson, and Callan frequently and misses them very much. After Dr. Zeizel was done testifying, the court excused the jury to do a voir dire of Emily Thorndike. You may know her as the TikToker who might be testifying in this trial, and this is how we found out if she will or will not. She was a social worker from McLean Hospital. The defense wanted her to testify about what staffing and programming were actually like at McLean Hospital during weekends and holidays, because when Lindsay was admitted, it was a weekend and it was New Year's Eve weekend into New Year's Day. She described significantly different weekend and holiday operations, including limited physician contact and activities like coloring, music, and crafts. But Thorndike left McLean Hospital in 2021, so she was not working there when Lindsay was admitted at the end of 2022 and into the beginning of 2023. Judge Sullivan said that he found Thorndike credible, but ruled that she would not testify because her experience was too removed from the time period that Lindsay Clancy was hospitalized at McLean Hospital. But the defense will still be allowed to introduce McLean's actual staffing and programming records so the jury can compare the holiday weekend with normal weekday operations. The court day then ended early because of unspecified, unforeseen circumstances, so we should find out what that was soon. Until then, that is the recap on day 16. And I want to apologize because on yesterday's recap for day 15, I accidentally called it day 16, which was a lie. I try not to lie to y'all, so I am sorry about that. Let me know your thoughts on the real day 16. I will be back to recap day 17 once it wraps up. And of course, most importantly, rest in peace to the 3 children at the center of this case and the 3 people that everyone should be focused on: Cora, Dawson, and Callan Clancy.